Well, hello and welcome back to the Forge again. It's been a while since I did a video. Been a while since I did anything at the Forge. I actually just got back from one of our biannual vacations. Went down to the coast for a week, took the boat out, caught a few fish. Not the fish I wanted, but I'm happy with what I got. Back here today trying to get a little bit caught up because, well, when I first got back, I went straight to working on the ambulance again. Yesterday, I lost a day at the Forge because I had to do a pediatric advanced life support class and get recerted in that. So I'm back at it today, and it's been a full day. It's late in the evening now. I've been at it since early this morning. Got one little project I'm going to do today. I've got a little piece of scrap. Gonna try to make a blade a little different than I normally do. It's gonna be a hidden tang type blade. I want something with pretty close to a straight back, straight spine on the blade. I'm actually doing this as practice because I want to make one that's larger. Not gonna fool with that today though, because, well, I think I could carry it off with the full-size piece, but honestly, as part of our adventures on vacation, one of the wheels broke off my boat trailer, and in the process of getting all that fixed, I managed to hammer my thumb, split it open, and it swelled and doesn't want to bend exactly right. And after today, out here working all day, it's pretty much screaming at me. So we're going to give it a little bit of a rest. We're going to try a smaller version and see what happens. So let's get it hot and smack it a few times. Okay, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is knock the corner down to make our tip. And I've already messed up and should have made this a lot blunter. This is going to mess me up farther along, but we'll deal with it then. Oh well. Could knock it back into itself, I suppose, and shorten it up a little bit, but I just can't be bothered to do it. And I've got a rough idea of how long I want to make this blade, so I'm going to go on to the horn of the anvil and put that famous backward curve into it so I can straighten it out as I forge in the bevels. Now I'm going to start with what's going to be the heel of the blade. And I want this to widen out a fair bit. So I'm pulling the steel down from pretty far up on the piece of bar stock. I want to get that heel established just right and make sure it's in the center. Work from both sides. And then we'll start bringing that same taper out the length of the blade. And hopefully that's going to straighten the blade up the way I want it. Like I said, I want this blade to have almost a straight back, at least until it gets to the tip, a straight spine, and, well, that's what we're shooting for, and it's looking pretty good so far. All right, getting out pretty close to the tip. Don't want to get in a hurry. Still trying to make sure to work both sides and keep the edge in the center of the bar stock. And I can see that my fear has come true. I drew that tip out way too long. That's okay, we'll overcome that difficulty in a minute and I'll show you how. For now, we're just going to keep working it out. Now, I know that kind of sweeping tip there, making sort of a semi-clip point, looks good, but that's not what I want, and I'm not going to have it. So we're going to fix that in just a second. But first, just going to planish out all our hammer marks. Make sure everything's square, straight. Pretty good. And we'll get out the hardy cutter, and I'm going to trim that tip up a little bit. I'm nipping steel off from the spine. Cutting it on an angle. It's kind of a steep angle, but that's okay. Because now when I forge the tip back out, it's going to stretch that around and decrease that angle and bring it more like in line with the spine of the knife, which is what I was shooting for. Doesn't always work out right, but this time it's going to. Now, unlike most blades I do, I'm actually going to put a ricasso on this blade, which is the flat area between the blade and the handle. And right now I'm just clipping the extra steel off so I can forge out what's going to be the tang. Now notice I'm cutting it on an angle, and that's because the tang needs to be tapered down to a fairly fine point on this knife. And cutting it on an angle like that is just going to make it easier for me to, right here, knock it down and center up what I need to forge out. Now I need to forge in my ricasso, and I'm using tongs to do it. I don't have a fullering tool. I usually just do it on the anvil, but I thought I would do it there with the tongs, using the tong handles, just to show you that that's possible, in case you want to try it. And now I'm just going to work the tang out. And this is really, it's giving me a problem. I can't hold it the way I want to, because my injured hand's not letting me. I can't hold it as tight as I need to. I could probably solve that problem if I'd make some tongs that fit. Maybe one day I will, but it's not going to be today. So we'll just work with what we've got. As you can see, I'm just drawing that tang out. Trying to keep it lined up, but I've got a pretty bad upward bow. I'll have to straighten that out in a minute. And I want that tang to actually taper from the end of the ricasso down to the end of the tang. I want it to taper in both directions. I want it to taper in height and in width. It's getting pretty close. I believe this is going to be the last heat on this, and then it's going to, I'll rough grind it and anneal it before I finish it off and fit a handle and harden it. Yep, I believe this will do. Okay, well, didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. I got the blade shape I wanted. I had some little trouble forging the tang. So I know I can get the blade shape right. That's great. No problem doing that on the bigger version. But the reason the tang gave me so much trouble was I just can't grip anything the way I need to work something that small. My thumb is worn out after having been out here all day. So I'll finish this one up anyway. Maybe I'll cast a pewter bolster, and maybe I'll put a brass guard on there. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a skeleton handle on there. I'll do something. I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be a nice little blade. Yeah, I think maybe a pewter bolster with some antler might just look good. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, well, maybe I can teach you something next time. Or maybe you can teach me something. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure and hit that like button. Be sure and subscribe. Hit that bell button. so you can get notifications when we put out new content. Thanks for watching. God bless and have a great night.